properly the text. And last but not least, the photosensitive content, because as it says here in the presentation, it can trigger epileptic seizures and some viewers. And then we have the subtitles part that I think that Tim is going to explain it. So I leave it here.
Thank you.
Hi. We're going to talk about subtitles while we're going to make them. I thought about starting with the editing and then going back to the subtitles later. So I'm going to share my screen now, and we can start with the editing part. As I said, we're going to, just so I don't start with the subtitles now and then later come back to them, I'm going to start with editing now and then cover the subtitles in whole later when we touch a bit with them. So let me just share my screen and have my presentation here. Okay. So let's start with the post-production. What we're going to do today is a basic walkthrough of the process after you've filmed your projects. So we're going to cover everything from data saving to organization of the files and everything you need in the editing. Also the editing programs. We're going to use one program today, but I'm going to tell you about a couple more programs. Of course, subtitles, we're going to talk about them too, and we're going to try to cover everything we can. Of course, this is again a bit more technical part of the lesson, so feel free to interrupt me at any time if you don't find something clear or you have an additional question if I just jump through something which interests you a bit more. So feel free to interrupt me, turn the camera on, yell, raise your finger, send the message in chat, doesn't matter, just pop your question anytime if you have it. The first thing in the post-production basically starts while you're filming. On the big sets, there is a dedicated person for this. It's called a data imaging technician. Basically, on the set, while you are filming, you are also trying to make your data backup right away. You don't want to film the whole day and have everything on one little card and imagine losing that card or having the card break down on you and you lose the whole day. So what you want to do is, of course, you guys won't have, I think, big sets and a lot of people working with you. So basically, give somebody a task of backing up your data. So as we've said before, you should have a laptop and some sort of a disk, external disk or a cloud, or anything you are used to using. Basically, you want to have that person back up your data from the camera every time you have a chance. So when you finish filming on one location and you're traveling to another location, or you finished shooting one scene and then you maybe change your lighting or change your actors and you have some time in between. So basically, any bigger chunk of time you have while the camera is not working, while you can use the camera, you use the card from the camera, take it out, and basically make your backup right away. While we are making the backups, we are already thinking about editing. So you're not going to be organizing your files later when you have everything together. You're starting your organization right away. So basically, I'm just going to give you a small example of how you should do it. I'm going to open my disk. So basically, you're on the set right now. I can't see the whole screen from here. Where is my PC? This. So basically, when you're on your set and you pop in your hard drive, you should make one big separate project for your shoot. So basically, let's call this OMG. I'm dyslexic, sorry. You have one big folder, and in here we're going to organize everything. So basically, you need to have as much as specific folder paths as you can. So the most basic thing you can do is make a couple of new folders just to divide sound and video. Some of you are going to be so recording your sound separately. Some of you are going to be recording it on the camera, but it doesn't matter. This is an example for if you're going to record it separately. So basically you want to have folders right away spread out for as many things as you can. So basically you're going to have your video files, which are going to be backupping from the camera. If you have your sound recorded on the video, you do not need this this folder. Of course, logos, here you can throw in your sponsor logos, maybe your text ideas for the title, or if you have already a subtitle file here, pop it in. Basically you want to make as many different paths as you can, just so it's organized and you don't have a bunch of files everywhere, and when you need them to go around looking for them. The most important, of course, is the video one. So in the video one, you want to divide it by days or by scenes. Depends on the type of your project. Of course, if you're going to be making the short films up to 3 minutes, you won't have day 1, day 2, day 3. Basically, you can make a couple of folders, not shortcuts, folders. You can make a couple of folders for, let's say, each scene, or if you have a couple of locations, maybe have a folder. Sorry, I usually work with a mouse, and now I have a trackpad. Let's have, there is a scene in a cafe. You want to have that one over here. Then you have a, let's say, a scene in your flat. So now it's, sorry, there it is. That's not how you spell it. Let's say you have an apartment scene, a cafe house scene, so you want to divide them this way. So basically, while you back up your files, you want to have everything as organized as possible, because later you can just pop these files, folders in your editing software, and it's going to be already organized for you. You do not want to just throw everything at one place and then later try to string everything together. The more work you do beforehand, the less work you're going to have to do editing. You don't want to sit around in your editing room looking for that one little file, which you cannot find because you just threw everything in one folder. So basically try to divide these as much as possible, so you have specific little folders in the end, so you can really pinpoint what you're looking for later in your project. Also, while you're on the set, usually a script does this. It's also a part of, let's say, organization. You should have a person. If it's a smaller set, director can do this. It's no problem. Just try to have a sheet of paper or a file on your phone, somebody to track down your takes and scenes. So let's say you are shooting a scene and you have 7 takes. You want a designated person that is gonna just write a little note about every single take that you made. So let's say if you come back to your editing room at the end of the day and you have 35 different takes, the best thing you can do is have a little scribble, a little note, a little something, a comment for each of those takes you had. Basically, it saves you a lot of time rewatching every single take. So basically, if you have a scene and you had 5 takes of the scene and you have your little comments on each take, let's say the first take, the actor messed up his lines. Second take, the director didn't like the camera movement. Third take, there was a camera shake. Fourth take, you decided to change your lighting. Basically, if you have that kind of documentation, you basically know already, okay, I don't need to watch the first 3 takes because they changed lighting later. We're going to see the last 3 takes and we're going to use one of them. Also eases up your process in the editing room. Imagine having to watch every single take you've shot on the day. It's going to take a lot of your time. This way, if you organize it right away, and if you have your little notes, basically the minute you sit down in your editing room, you know, okay, I'm editing the scene number 5, and I have a take number 6 that was the best. I already know I'm going to use that one. I'm going to play with it right in the beginning. I don't need to watch every single one of those takes for that scene. So you want to have somebody backing up your files right away while you are shooting, and also you want to have somebody taking your notes on each take you take. You shoot, so you later you know which one was your favorite, which one had a different, let's say, an error or something you didn't like, just so you speed up the process later. Okay, your post-production won't last for a year.
Sorry. Just a little interruption. Can Petra or Martina accept Laura that is in the waiting room?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Where was I? Oh, okay. Basically, your project won't last for a year. It's a smaller project. Usually, on bigger projects, you have a couple of different people that will work on the editing process. You have sometimes you have a person that organizes your files later. That's one type of editor. You have another editor to edit your movie. Then you hand that over to your sound editor. After that, you give it later to the colorist to help with your colors. Basically, your project is going to be one person, so don't worry about that. Let's see what we have later. Data storage, and this is a bit more technical again. This part is about your computer, where you're going to be editing, which apps you're going to use. Basically, we're going to show you one free app today. The thing here is you can edit today basically on anything. You can even edit on your phone. Of course, having a nice big PC at home with 2 or 3 screens is the best you can have, but sometimes we don't have that. What we're gonna be using today is this one, a little editing software that is free. It's called CapCut. And what's good about this one is you do not have to have a powerful PC. You do not even have to install this program. You can do everything basically online. But of course, there is an download it, which I suggest you do. But if your PC or laptop is really old, or you work on a tablet, or you work on something that cannot handle the files in the editing, of course, editing online is an option. Just be ready to wait a bit more, because if you edit online, you have to upload all of your footage. And if you edit on your PC, you're going to be having it on your PC, on your disk, and it's going to be much faster in the beginning. But basically, it's the same. It looks the same, does the same. It's only a type of preference. There are a couple of editing softwares. These here are the most popular ones: Premiere, Avid, Final Cut, and DaVinci. Out of these, DaVinci is also free, but it's not as simple as CapCut. Also, there's a paid version for DaVinci, which is great. It offers everything in one. When I say everything, I mean sound editing, color editing. DaVinci has the best color editing out of all of them, because they started out as a colorist program, then they later added editing into it. Final Cut Pro and Avid, I'm not so keen on using those. I've never actually used them for a whole project. I use them just for a couple of small things. Usually Adobe Premiere is my way to go. I do everything in Adobe's programs and sometimes in DaVinci, but if you have, I think it's $21 a month, Adobe Premiere, so what is it, a subscription or something, I don't know. But basically you would need, for some things, you would need Adobe Encoder, which is another, I don't know, 10, 15 euros. And then you would need After Effects, which is another 10, 15. Basically for 80 or 90% of the things you need, you can use the free DaVinci software, the CapCut I'm going to show you guys today. Of course, if you want to try any of these, there's a free trial for 30 days. You can do whatever you want to learn a bit. But if you want to stick down to the free and easy ones, CapCut is the winner and DaVinci is close second. So this is how we're going to go do things today in the CapCut. Of course, if you have these big fancy programs on your PC, you need to have a pretty strong PC to handle everything, and you don't want your software crashing while you're editing, because it's quite stressful on your nerves to have something crash down after you've edited for 2 hours. Of course, there's an autosave options on your newer softwares. Back in the day, 5 or 10 years ago, what Adobe's autosave wasn't working so well, but today it's pretty okay. Okay, these are some general tips on sound editing in the post-production. Usually the sound is recorded separately, so then you have to join it together. I think most of you are going to be having your sound in camera, but of course we're going to show also how to do it if it's divided on 2 different files. Basically, what you're going to be doing is synchronizing the audio and maybe fixing the volume a little bit. We won't be able to do all the whole seminar on cleaning up your audio and audio technical part of things, because it's a different story and it's really detailed and technical. We're going to be keeping it to the basics. So basically synchronization of the sound and a bit of volume playing. Of course, you guys are going to be using music, so you're going to have to work with music and camera sound and dialogue sound and background sounds, mixing all those together. We're going to go through that too. And special effects if needed. Special effects are pretty special. Each effect is completely different. I cannot talk about in general about them, but if you know you're going to be using some effects, I think you know how to work with them. If you don't, you won't be using special effects. So animations and graphics, it's a bit of a different topic. If anybody wants to go that way, of course, feel free. I presume you know more about graphics and animation than me if you're going to be using it. I'm just going to stick to editing and of course small types of animations and graphic movements like logos or titles or something like that. That's a different thing. That's easy. We're going to go through that too. So basically we can go jump to our CapCut to go through a bit of basics around working there. So as I've said, you can use your CapCut online. We are going to be showing you when you download it. It's basically the same. The way you upload your footage is only different, and it's a bit slower online. But you're going to see it's pretty simple. So let's open up that CapCut here, and let's go through a couple of things. Okay, I already started a project. We can start a new project just for this. So up there, you can start a new project, and this is how it's going to look like. I'm going to make it a bit smaller because I have the zoom overlay, so I can't see everything. Let me just adjust it a bit so you can see it this way, and I'm going to make my screen smaller. There it is. Okay. So basically you have this looks really similar to every other editing software. You have different, as you can see, boxes of windows. Each has its own purpose. This one here is going to be for your viewing of your files, or your organization of files. So basically here we're going to be importing everything we need. So we can start with that, but I'm just gonna use your shots from last time as an example. We can use anything, but I'm just gonna throw your videos down here, and here you can go through your videos. Each one you click on, you can hear and see over here you view through them, and when you've decided to use some of it, you just drag it basically down here, and this is your timeline. You're going to be editing your final thing. The basic thing you want to do is the advantage of editing softwares is you don't have to use the whole clips. Of course, you need to cut them up. You need to use only a part of something. You have a long clip of a conversation. You're only going to use a couple of small little shots from it. So let's say you have your take number 3 here, and you just need the middle of it. I've shown you your files in this window. It shows you here, but you view it from this window, and you have your shortcuts, which are gonna be your lifesavers. So basically, while you start editing, you're gonna be pretty slow, but once you get into it, the thing that helps you most is using shortcuts on your keyboard. So you don't want you don't want to use your mouse for every single thing you need to do. You have a bunch of really helpful shortcuts you can use while editing. So the most important one, and the one that's going to save you the most time, is basically the same in every single editing software. That's in and out points. So what does that mean? In and out points are gonna select which part of the file that you shot on your set you're gonna use in your final film. So basically, let's say this is a shot we want to use, and we only want to use the part where we pan from right to left, and we want to use like a second or two of that. So basically, while you watch the clip, you can use your I and O on your keyboard. Logically, I is for in, O is for out. So if you play your clip and you think I need this one, you press I, 2-3 seconds, press O. And as you've seen, it only selected the middle part that you need. So an alternative to this would be dragging the whole clip down and then cutting it like this, which takes a bit more time. But if you do the in and out scenes, you can just have it down there, only the part that you need. So in the editing, what you basically do first is this. You have a bunch of your files on the left. You're going to have a lot of them here. Of course, as I said, when you organize things, it's going to be much easier. You don't want to have something like this when you have a bunch of files just thrown around. Basically, you're going to have your folders here. The same way I imported the videos here, you can do with your organization before. So basically, if I just drag and drop these folders down there, we're going to have the same organization here in the program, and then we can easily navigate through that. So basically, when you finally film everything you need, I know you have your ideas, you have your script, you were on the set, you know the best, and you basically already have your movie edited in your head, and you know what to look for, and you know what things you want to have in your finished product. As I've said, while we were covering the shooting part, you don't want to cut right away, and you don't want to start your action right when the camera starts, because sometimes in the editing room, we will need a little bit more of this end part and this beginning part to help cutting with your next scene. So that's why we needed to leave the camera running just for a second or two more, or start the camera and say action a second or two later. You always need that little bit of breathing space at the end and at the beginning of every clip. So keep your mind on that while you are shooting. So basically, what we do here, I'm not going to use this clip for now. Let's say this was Patricia's exercise, video exercise. She has the four clips she shot. Basically, you can, if you need them, select computer, you press one of them, and then you press the last one with your shift key, or you can go one by one, which I suggest. And let's say this one. We had, for those who weren't here the last time or weren't watching, this was a clip Patricia made on her local market, I think. And we had these old men playing cards, and in the middle of the frame of the shot, she decided to zoom in on the middle guy. And let's say we need that clip, so we go through it. We wait for the in point. Let's see his face. We have the in point, and this is the shot we wanted to have, just him. This is the way you can save your time. So basically, just wanted to use the zoom part, pop it in, and now I have this one. So this is the basic method you want to be in and out points. One great thing about this easy editor is it has a certain effects that are going to help you. I'm going to be just jumping a little bit forward to subtitles, but this is a basic effect we have here. I just want to show you this right away. Basically, when you edit your thing, you don't want to start with just subtitles right away. Subtitles are basically the last thing you do. So after you edit your whole movie, after you've corrected some lighting things if you need, after you've put on your logos at the end or the title in the beginning, after everything, you're going to be doing your subtitles. I presume there's going to be a lot of different languages. This little magic trick works only on English, but I can show you this as an example, and I'm going to tell you how to adjust this to different languages. Basically, this was one of our test shots that we had, which had talking in it. And we can use this as an example. So basically, when you have your finished movie, you're going to be throwing it down in the timeline. So your whole movie is going to be down here. So there's going to be a lot of little clips like this. My screen is not so big, so I can't see now, but underneath there, you're going to have a couple of audio tracks. Of course, if you add another audio track here, you're going to have two of them. I'm going to go through tracks in a little bit, but the neat trick you have here is your quick subtitles, which are here in your text. So basically, each of these windows has its own purpose. As I've said, this is your timeline. All of your clips, video, audio, everything is going to be down here in little different chunks. Here you can shorten them, widen them, doesn't matter. Here you have your editing effects about the clips. So basically, if you only want to change something about this one little clip, you have everything you need right here. If you want to move it, zoom it, anything basically. And the one I'm going to show you now is the auto captions. So here we have an English-speaking subject, which is good because in this program we don't have so much languages to choose from. So we're going to stick to English for now. And look at this. It's pretty magical if you have a need for English titles. We're going to just wait for a second, and you're going to see what it does. Basically, what it does now for English, you're going to be manually doing by yourself for any other language. Here. What he did, he created a bunch of little subtitle clips. So basically, each time our subject was talking, he detected what she was saying and basically made the subtitles right away. So this is pretty easy if you have an English one. I presume most of you are going to be having a different kind of language, so you're going to have to translate yourself to English. Anyways, if you do the automatic way like this, don't worry. You can of course edit these in any way you need. It's not burnt in after you've auto generated them. And as Patricia was saying, we need to think about accessibility here. So these subtitles are not quite good. So basically it's small, it's bland white, it has no additional descriptions. It's pretty much a basic kind of title that's that it is what we are looking for. What we need for our subtitles, and now this is all on my screen because my screen is not so big. Make it bigger. I can see it. It doesn't matter. Anyway, what we want to do here is we want to have subtitles that are a bit more contrasty, and as Patricia said, it has to have some kind of background because you've seen this is a really good example of how to do it badly. Our subject is sitting on a white sofa, and as you can see, the white color of the text kind of blends with the white color of the sofa, and it's tough to read. That's why we need those sometimes shadows, sometimes backgrounds. We are going to use an outline and a background, which is my favorite type of thing to use for subtitles. And quite conveniently, we have it here in your CapCut program. So basically, each time you want to change something on your subtitles, you press on the one you want to change, and you need to see that it's highlighted. Sometimes we forget, maybe we selected this, maybe we selected this clip, but our eyes can see this one because the timeline needle is here, and we start editing this subtitle and we see nothing is changing here. That's because we selected this one. We need to select the one that we are seeing right now. So basically you select the one you're seeing right now, and it's the same as in PDF, Word, or anything. You need to highlight it, and you can choose your styles here. Basically this one adds our we need white letters, black outline, this one. So basically this adds black outline to our letters and makes it pop out a bit more, which is what we need because a lot of content consuming comes through the phones today, and phones are quite small than our TVs or bigger screens, and we need those titles to pop out a bit so we can see them clearly. What we are going to do here, this is just my way of doing it. You can play around here and do a different variation, but this is the important thing. The titles need to pop out a bit so we can see them. They need to be contrasty so they're easy to see, and we stick to the as Patricia said, either yellow and black or white and black. It's the best contrast and it's the easiest to see. The thickness of it is a bit too much. We can dial that down a little bit. You can do it here. You can drag this and see how much you need, but basically like something like this is enough because we are going to be adding the background. Background is the black bar behind it. Of course, if it's a black bar, you cannot see the picture behind it. So we're going to need to make it transparent a little bit. It's nice because we have here. You can drop it down a little bit, and as you can see, it helps a tremendous amount. Basically, our subtitles are much better like this because now doesn't matter what's behind our text. We can see it clearly because we have background and we have an outline. So this is the type of title you want to have in the end. This kind of title doesn't have to be exactly the same as this one, but this is the type we want to aim for. You want to have a white color with a nice contrast and a nice little background box layer, as you can see there. Of course, not too solid. You want to have it transparent a little bit, so you can see it's a bit gray, but that's because behind it you can see the fruit over here. You can see the laptop behind, so it's easier to look at. Of course, we have this little when we select our title, we have this little checkbox here, apply to all. As you can see, we now changed one title, but we applied it to all of them. This is what you want to be having in the end when you are making your subtitles. You want to have this checked, so when you choose them, they're all the same, and they all look the same. They're all the same size, and then later you can play with the placement of the title. Sometimes maybe because of let's say if you have a hearing impaired person watching your movie, and let's say is over her mouth and they prefer reading the lips, you can select your title that is making you problems, and you can basically move it around. Maybe only that one title you want to move a little bit to the left, so she stays clear, and then the rest are gonna move again. So we need to remember to remove the little apply to all card if we want to make an adjustment only to one. So basically you move it back there. Now all of the others are going to stay in the middle. You need to think about that too. Sometimes the titles are going to be in the way of something. If that something is important, like somebody's lips moving, or if there's a text in the actual shot, you want to move it away. You don't want text over text. Of course, we like to keep our titles in the middle, a bit more down there. You can put them anywhere as long as it's for a reason. Another pretty important thing, which is also connected to accessibility, is adding those, as you've seen, let's say little auditive descriptions of your titles. If you don't know what I'm saying or what I'm talking about, we're going to make a little example here. There is a little part here where she talks about having homework. There.
Yes, we have a lot of jobs.
Let's say she found out she has a lot of homework to do, and in the video and in the sound we can hear, let's say she's nervously started breathing a lot louder, or there is an important let's say sigh in the scene which we can hear but not see so much. In those kind of situations, you can add. We have it a little bit easier to write here. We can add the auditive description. So let's say we need to add this one. So this is the type of auditive description we need. Try to go through your movie in the end and try to detect those important sounds that are not coming to the camera quite as obviously as a speech. So basically, if you have an important sound in the traffic, let's say, then you add loud traffic sounds in the background, as we've just added here, breathing nervously.
Sorry.
Yep.
Excuse me. I want to ask you something.
Sure.
You see in the clip that I made, I have a scene with the phone when the character receive a message. Can I use subtitles to evidence the message?
Sure, of course, that's a great thing. Also, if you have modern films have often phones interacted in them, you can be pretty free about your style and the way you're going to do the text. You can it doesn't have to be subtitle oriented. It can be floating text, it can be some stylish text, it can be anything basically. It's not going to be considered subtitles because it's a message. I presume it's some kind of a message, text or something. You can do anything you want with it. Of course, you can also do it in this program here. But yeah, it's pretty important. You can add it too.
But in our clip, we don't want to use voice. We want just to put some music, some notification sounds, some nature sounds that we registered outside. And I want to ask if it's okay for the movie, for the content.
Of course, I think it's okay. It shouldn't be any problem.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Okay.
Martina or Francesca, is it okay? I think it's okay.
Yeah, and
it's okay.
We have some a part of visual effects, and I don't know it's that all right.
Sure,
We have
you're
some
free to do,
VR error.
of course. Yeah. You can use anything basically.
Okay.
It's not really so strict.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
No
you.
problem.
Sorry.
No
Yeah,
problem.
you are free to use everything really. It's like about creativity is important, it's accessible, of course, but feel free to space.
Yeah, anything you think of outside the box, you can use it freely. It's really no issue. Just when you finish it, when you finish it, think about the basics again and think if this needs something additional like subtitles, if it needs some auditive description, think about that and add it. But there's no something, no limits on your imagination. You
Okay,
can do anything.
because
It's
after this
no problem.
meeting, I'm going to start editing because I have some new videos to add, and I want to know if it's okay the subject and that's all.
Sure, it's no problem. You can use it without worries.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
and
you.
about the subject, please get in touch with the organization with who you are working. So if you are working with a CPP, for example, that you can get in touch with them to tell them the topic that you're going to work on your video, because the video will be about sustainable development goals and social inclusion with young people. Yes, it's very important that all youth workers, while and before making the video, make sure to coordinate them with their partner organization that they are in touch with.
Okay, thank you
Okay.
very much. I didn't know that, and we
Okay,
talked about
with
another
who you
subject.
were in touch, who invited you for the
The CPIP,
Hmm?
I can't remember right now the
Okay,
name.
don't worry. So, for example,
Yes.
in case Anna invited you, or
Yes,
yeah,
Anna.
yeah, then please be in touch with her, for example, and Riach, for example, will be in touch with Predif, and any youth worker that is making you're gonna make the video need to be in touch with their partner organization that invited them. We need to coordinate a bit about the subject of the videos, because they have to connect with the project topics, and they need to cover the sustainable development goals, and also your partner organization will provide you the guidelines. So as well, minimum, maximum of the length of the videos, some basic. Of course, you can do all the creativity that you want, of course, but yeah, please be in touch with them, because the partner organization will basically coordinate you about the subject, because it's very important that the subject are coherent, and they can be made for the project and for the final users of the videos, which are the young people.
Okay.
Are you going to work with the young people to make this video?
I'm working with my classmate. We are together in this project, and I'm the one who filmed, and he's the character in the movie, and also the editor with me.
Okay. Anyway, don't worry, because we will have a meeting with the other organization that are involved in the project, and after the meeting they will give you all the instructions needed. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for your questions. Anybody else has any doubt until now about some topic about editing or about the development of the video in the future? Anyway, feel free to ask.
Yeah, feel free to interrupt. No problem at all. Yeah, so basically there is a general theme, but the tools you use are unlimited. You can use any tools you need. Okay, so we covered the quick subtitling of the English ones. Try to add your auditive descriptions, thinking about the sounds that are important or emotions that are important, which we need, like, let's say, accentuate through the titles. But let's talk now about making of subtitles if your movie is not going to be in English and if you're not going to be able to just automatically generate them the way we did here. Basically what you do, you won't have these here. Let me just delete those. I'm just going to make one here in the beginning. Doesn't matter with the video here. Let's use a different one now. Let's throw in something from there. We can throw in the little meeting here. We can put it down there. So what you need to do, of course, you can see your media is over here. If you have some specific audio media, is going to be here. Subtitles are a part of text, of course, and you need to add text. Just the basic default one is okay. And this is considered like a little video clip. So you drag and drop it down there. And now you have your two timelines, let's say, down there. So audio wise, so audio is going to be underneath. It doesn't matter where which audio is. All of the tracks, let's imagine you have 3 or 4 tracks right here. Let me see if maybe I have the additional audio track I separated before. Give me a second. I do. So I'm going to put this one also. Where is it? I'm going to add this one too. This is a sound of this video right here, just extracted out so I can use it as an example. You can see if you have more sounds, you're going to have more lines, more timelines here down there. We're going to talk about them later, but for now, the video is more important because video actually matters which one is where. So basically, you can see that the full text is in the line above the video line, which means we're going to see first this one, then this one down there. If it was the other way around, so if we basically have a video in the upper line, let me see if I can do it here. Usually in the Premiere, you can just put it out there. You can't here, let's say. Now it's basically cut, it made to stay above. Imagine if we had a different video here, let's say this one, put it there. Now, as you can see, we are going to stop seeing this one and start seeing this one because it's above. So first you see the Patricia's video and then you see Alina's video. You can, of course, use this to easily manipulate. Maybe sometimes you don't want to cut exactly where you need to cut this video, and you do not want to have it one next to the other. Maybe you want to have some breathing room later to change this cut for a millisecond or two, so you can let it breathe here for a bit. But now I'm jumping off point. I need to stick to my subtitles now. Sorry. So basically, when we make subtitles for another language, you're going to have to make them yourself. We drop the text here, and now, of course, you can copy and paste this a lot of times. But first, we wanna have a style we need. So let's say this is let's make a descriptive one. So this is a group discussing. There is no general clear thing that's being said. It's just a general sound of the group. What we want to see here is we want to find our style. We said this one looked nice. Of course, the position is in the middle and it's quite big, so we're going to need to scale it down a bit. You can use your scaler here, or you can just put in the exact number you think is going to work. Let's say 50 is quite all right, and then you can put it, you can drag it down. This blue line helps us keep everything in the middle, and let's have it there. So this is going to be a general look of your subtitle. Let's put the back. I forgot to put the back. The thickness is a bit too much. Let's say 20. It's better, and add the little background bar we talked about before. Opacity 50, 40 would be fine. There. So this is the type of text we like, let's say, and we need a lot of them. So the length of it depends on you, how long you want to see it. Of course, if something specific is going to be said, you want to shorten it for the amount, for the duration of the thing that's being said, which is described here. Basically, you can copy paste this one just like on your computer. So you can go the old-fashioned way, right-click copy, and then right-click paste, or you can do the, as I've said, these shortcuts make your life much easier. So basically, I Control-C this one, and now what you can do is just start stacking these for later. And now you have your general style of the subtitle you need, and then you just go through your movie and change the content of the text, change the length of the text, and sometimes change the position of the text if somebody's eyes or mouth are right here and they need to be clear, or any other reason that needs you to move the subtitles around. So basically, this is the easiest way to make your subtitles. Make one example subtitle, and then you copy paste it as much times as you need, and it's a laboring work. Basically, you just need to go through your movie and adjust your titles, and don't forget to think about the auditive descriptive titles we have right here. Okay, some of you guys, as we've said, are going to be shooting your audio separately, which means you're going to have this type of situation right here. All of these have integrated audio in them. This one also has integrated audio in it, but this is a separate audio. So let's say actually what I did was extract audio from this clip right here to have clear audio as an example. You're going to have a lot of these and a lot of these to pair, basically. So basically how you're going to do that is also with a little help from your program here. But the important thing is if you do record your audio separately on a fancy expensive recorder or another microphone or something like that, you do need to have the audio on your video too. This doesn't have to be any, it can be the camera sound, it can be basically the lowest quality you have available is good enough for this one, for the video clip sound, because we're only going to need it to synchronize it. Usually when you synchronize clips, you use the I know slate. Yes, sometimes I forget English words. You have this thing which you click, and then you have a sharp sound in the sound file, but also in the video file you have these two connecting, and then you have the exact time. So basically, when you click the slate, you know that your high bar in the sound is exactly at the time when these two touch together. And this is the old school way of synchronizing things. But today, every single camera has a basic microphone in it, and you can use the software to do it for you. So basically, let's say this clip is the one with the sound we do not want, and this is our big, nice, professional grade sound we recorded with a separate device, and we need to synchronize these two. Of course, these are going to be exactly the same length, but let's play around with them. So they're the same length. Basically, what you can do is select these two together, and there is a sync video to sound option. The software can do this pretty easily because this video clip has sound. This is basically the same sound, but usually it won't be the same. This one needs to be quite high quality if we're going to have separate sound, and this sound then after synchronization we don't need anymore. So basically this sound right here, do not forget to kill completely. So basically the sound from your video clip you're going to be using only to synchronize with your actual audio that you need, and after you synchronize it, don't forget to drop it down. You do not want your audio from your video clip to interfere with the high quality that a sound technician recorded for you on the set. Of course, this doesn't matter if you shoot your film in a way that you shoot in camera. Then we stick to the old suggestion I had in the first class. Keep your camera close to somebody if they're talking, and try to capture the sound the best you can. Try to avoid background noises, because professional grade editing softwares and professional editors can sometimes help you out with your background noises, but in this program basically we can do a lot. We cannot do a lot, and with a basic quality audio clip you cannot do a lot. So try to think in advance. If you have something really loud on the location you're shooting, try to wait a bit, maybe it quiets down, maybe find another location, or try to incorporate it in your movie. But have in mind that if you shoot your audio in camera, you won't be able to do a lot about it later. What we can do about this one, it's as we can see, it's pretty quiet. How do we know that? You can crank up your volume on your PC or your laptop to the max. You can crank up your headphones to the max. To you, it may sound correct, loud enough, but not everybody is gonna be listening it to in the same environment as you are, and that's why we need to pay attention to this. This is our sound monitor, and these are the loudness bars, let's say, whatever you want to call it. And when we have a clip which is really loud, it goes into the reds, and we do not want this. So basically if we turn the audio up on this one, I'm going to turn my PC down so I don't interfere with the with my voice while we're talking. But if you turn this all the way up, you can see the little orange and red lines starting to appear. You're going to see them right here now. Let me just show you. Let's jump to this part here. So basically, this is a little bit on the loud side already. Actually, it's technically acceptable because orange is okay. Red is totally out. Red you only use for somebody angrily shutting the door, or a loud sound that is meant to be loud in the scene. You do not have to run away from red here in your sound monitor, but you need to keep in mind what you are listening to right now. So this is an example of, let's say, a conversation. She's conversing with somebody on the phone, and we do not need this to go into the red. It's already a little bit in the orange, so I will basically turn it back down a little bit. There, we only have a couple of little orange clippies right here and right there. This is basically good enough. What we are talking about now is the basic sound editing of your movie. So imagine you having 20 video clips and 10 or 11 audio clips down here. You do not want to have a movie where 1 second somebody is talking, it's pretty loud, and then the next second somebody is talking, it's totally quiet. You are going to need to level these out. So basically what you are going to do is go throughout your whole project. So let's say there's a lot of clips here, and try to identify them. Okay, here I have a clip and the important sound here is somebody talking. I want to have this right below the orange here. The fourth bar here is orange, and if I keep under it, as you can see in the sound data here, it's right under the orange one. So this is okay. What you then want to do is identify all of the similar types of sound throughout your whole project and try to pull them up or pull them down in a way to make them similar to the level you want to have throughout your whole film. Of course, if somewhere you have a really loud sound that is important, leave it loud, of course, don't try to save it. If there is, let's say, a whisper scene or just a basic background noise, you can have it looking like this, basically a little bit more quiet. But sometimes, you know, if you have somebody talking, you want it to be a bit higher like this, or if there is something to be really, really loud, maybe if you have a I don't know, a car crash or a running scene or loud music, you can allow yourself to go a little bit in the orange, but try to keep it somewhere in the middle for the whole movie. So basically try to level out. This is the basic, let's say, basic sound editing you can do. It's leveling out your movie. You don't want to have this clip is pretty quiet because it's filmed with the phone standing about a meter or two away. So our subject is pretty quiet while she's talking. You can't hear her so easily. If you were to shoot this and then later you have another conversation which is much louder, then you would have to take this one up a bit and take the other one down a bit and try to level it out. Just think about these things while you are editing your movie end product. On the other side, on the video side, there is not much to tell you guys. I think you already know in advance because you already shot the movie which thing is going to be where, which clip is going to be where. Just keep in mind to play around in your editing room. You do not have to stick to your story from the beginning. You know, maybe Patricia shot these 4 clips with an idea of which one should be where, and then automatically, okay, I know I shot them this way, I want them this way, but don't have it so set in stone. To play in your editing room, try to try things out, because you know you only know if something works when you see it. So basically clips don't have to be in the way you wanted to have them in the beginning. Maybe you shot something you didn't expect to shoot, and maybe it functions better if you put it somewhere else. Just try it out, and editing room is a place to experiment. Also, you don't have to be so strict about everything you shot and make it exactly the way later in the editing room. You can play around with it a little bit and try to see what functions the best for you. Basically, while you're going to be editing, there is it's not such science to do it. It's a feeling type of job. Basically, you know which clips are good, you know which clips are not good. You're going to use those you liked while you were shooting, and then here you're just going to be cutting them a little bit shorter, letting them go a little bit longer. I cannot suggest you now what you should do because every single clip is totally on its own. I can just give you some technical little aspects of the thing. Considering this program right here, you have these sometimes can be confusing because sometimes you want to have some space between your clips. Maybe you want this one to end and have a moment of darkness before the other clip goes. By default, CapCut has this turned on. What this means, it's like a track. Now it says right here, it's a track magnet. So basically, if I delete this clip here, it automatically pushes all of the other clips back in its way. Of course, you can turn this off if you want to have the whole. If you want to have the complete control over your clips. Also, these not this one, auto snapping. These are little tools. Try to turning them on and off if something's annoying you. Me personally, this one was annoying to me because it just bunches everything together, and sometimes you want some breathing room. Basically, think about this. If something is annoying you and you do not know how to solve it, luckily CapCut is a really popular program for TikTok, because they also have a mobile version. So there is a million videos on YouTube for every single little part of this program, which is a good thing, because a couple of years ago you only had, you know, the complicated DaVinci Resolve or the Adobe that is pricey, and if you wanted to learn editing, you just had to get into it in those programs. Today, basically, if you open this program, it's really pretty intuitive, and it covers a lot of the things that you're going to need to edit your movies. So basically, we had the organization part in the beginning. We have the importing bit, cutting up the footage and putting it down there in the timeline for the end product. If you're going to synchronize sound, I showed you how to do that. If you're going to be using your own sound, then again, you have the same meters here and the same audio controls there to level out your audio. Of course, any single thing that you guys need to know more about, you can interrupt me, you can send me an email, you can ask about anything. Some things maybe I won't know, but I'm sure it's going to be pretty easy to find a solution for an issue you guys are going to have. The end here is the export part. I'm going to go through it now because we need to know what kind of clips we're going to be needing later. So let's say you, let's bunch this together. Let's say you finished your movie. This is your edited clip video. This is your export part of the job. So basically, when you go to the export, the program is going to consider everything that is here right to the end for for the export. So basically, if you just try to keep in mind, sometimes when you cut up your clips here, sometimes you throw something a bit out of the way for later, and you forget about it, and then you think, oh, I edited my video, I edited my movie. And you forget about this little clip right here, and you're all the way zoomed in working on the other part, and then you go to the export, and then you see a 7-minute video with something in the end. That's because you forgot about the little clip here. So keep that in mind to have it all clean, zoom out all the way to see what it consists of, and then you go to your export. Of course, the subtitles are going to be here also, and you want to be exporting your video, so you need to check this one, uncheck this one if it's checked, because you want the audio incorporated into your video. This is going to make a separate file, and basically it offers you pretty basic settings for your video. This is the resolution. It depends on the resolution you shot your videos in. So if you shoot 1080p the whole thing, it's going to be 1080p in the end. If you shot 4K, you're going to export 4K. So this is basically connected to the original settings in your camera. Also, the frame rate, as we've said, it also depends on how you filmed it in the beginning. So in the beginning, if you filmed it 25 frames per second, he's going to suggest 25 here. This clip that we use as an example was shot in 30, so it suggested us 30 frames per second. And basically, the format doesn't matter. Basically, MP4 is a bit more compressed. MOV you can use if you're going to use the clip later for further editing. So maybe if you want to edit some small clip and then put it back in the editing room later, MOV would be better, but stick to the MP4 for the export. And basically, when we export this, here you can choose, of course, the name and where it goes. And when you export, I think this program offers you or the direct upload to YouTube, which is a nice little thing. Basically, this is going to be much faster if you have a high-end computer. Online, it's going to be, I'm not sure if it's going to be faster or slower online, but it doesn't matter. It's going to work the same way. So basically, this is your whole process. There's a lot of little small thingies you can do here in the editing room. You can play with text. This program has a lot of templates for the animation. You also have a lot of basic, I'm going to cancel this. I don't need a video right now. I need to continue talking. You have the little effects that you're going to need sometimes in effects, transitions, if you want to have something. Basically, you have everything you can ever think of here. These are a bit more gimmicky. These are for, I don't know, TikTok videos, but basically the couple of basic ones that you need, something like a fade in, fade out, you can do yourself. Because here, as you can see, you have a lot of options. Basically, the things you're going to be using most are from the effects on the video are opacity for the basic fade in, fade out. So let's say this is the beginning of a movie and you want to have your fade in, fade out. I'm not clicking on the clip. You have your keyframes. If you do not know what a keyframe is, it's like a little memory card. So I click on this keyframe, and now he knows that at this point of the video, I want this setting to be correct. And then if I go to a different part of the video, I want a different one. So let's see, here I want to make a little fade out, fade in for the beginning of the movie. So I put 2 keyframes down, which means that at this point of the video, I want it to be 100% clear. So we can see 100% of the video. And in the beginning of the clip, I want it 0. So I want it dark. And this is a basic fade out. You're going to do the same thing in the end if you want, different way around, of course. First 100%, then a 0. And this is your basic fade in. This far too long. You're going to be doing this until here, let's say. This is just a little example of your fade out, fade in. Anything you think of can be done here. I cannot cover everything now, but anything you need, contact us or look it up on YouTube. I'm sure you're going to be finding it there. Opening and ending credits, it's basically the same as subtitles, but you're going to do it in a different way. So it's not going to be small little texts down in the middle of the screen. You're going to have a lot of text throughout the whole screen. You're going to have to do it manually if you want to do it. Logos, of course, depend on the type of logo you need. This program supports photos and everything. It's going to show up just like this here. So it's going to show up here as a photo, and you just drop it down. It's pretty straightforward and pretty simple. And that's about it from our editing. We covered a lot. If anybody has a question now, maybe I overlooked something in the editing, maybe I didn't touch on something that's bothering you, maybe you still don't know how to do something, you can ask me now. It's really no problem. Just we're here for you. So if anybody has a question or something, I'm here. Is anybody going to be using a different program? Maybe somebody's working Premiere or Final Cut or DaVinci, or are you all going to stick to the free CapCut one? No, basically, then you're going to be using your CapCut program.
Yes,
it's pretty straightforward. It's really nice to use, and everything is really simple and suggestive for you.
Yeah, and I see that it's easy and it's also accessible and it's free. So I think we're from Pradeep, the youth workers from Prediff and organization that are working with Prediff, we are going to use a free tools.
Yeah.
This free tool. Yeah.
We had a section about editing sound, which is not so as the video editing, because we won't be able to do much about our sound. I presume, as I've said, everybody's going to be using in-camera sound. Don't worry too much about sound. Just worry about making a little movie as a whole, volume-wise. Don't worry about those little knickknacks. Just worry. Color, basically, we cannot do anything. It's not a really high-end professional camera. So in the editing room, color is only done if it's a really high-end camera, because then you have the leeway on your files. If we try to color correct your phone or basic camera files, it's not going to look good. So what you need is to think about it beforehand. Think about it while you're filming. As I've said, the most important thing you can do is have your correct white balance, and then you won't have an issue later. It's going to be looking just fine. You can throw in a filter. Of course, this program has here, you have a lot of filters. If you want to, where is it? Adjustments there. You have a lot of filters somewhere down there in the here, sorry, filters. You have a lot of them here. Don't use them if you don't need to, but if somebody really wants to have a certain style to the video, you can add these. But of course, this is a much more elaborate to do with a professional camera. If you do it with your phone, you can just drag and drop a video effect and it's going to look just fine. But don't concentrate on it. The main thing here is you make a movie. You wanted to make it in the beginning and to have nice and correct subtitles so everybody can watch your video even on the phone and even with the sound turned off and still understand most of it. So think about that while you're editing. Don't worry about the small things. It's if we make mistakes, it's really no problem at all. And of course, we are here for any questions you guys need and anything basically. We're here. Does anybody have some questions, something to add? Maybe.
Tina, in the presentation, there is also some tips about sounds, just in case someone is interested in the topics.
Sound editing, this one.
Perfect. Yeah. So yeah, I think yeah, it's good that all the information is also in the presentation. So it would be great to send to the youth workers the recording of this session, which is very critical, important session. So they need to have this recording and as well the PowerPoint presentation, because it's good that they have some visual support while they are editing the videos.
Sure, yeah, we're going to send them. We're going to send the presentation and the recording afterwards. No worry. Please,
the recording, a link that we can open. We can give. We can activate without issues, because yes, it's very important that all these recordings are open to the youth workers. And yes, about the next step of the, well, before, is anybody has any question that want to ask to Tina about editing? You can talk now. And of course, you have his email address, and you can also, ask him tips in case you need. And I wanted to say that the next step of the project is going to be very soon. So again, remember that the partner organization that invited you to the workshops will give you the guidelines about topics and about the minimum and maximum time of the videos. Is there any question about these videos that will participate to the final contest?
If anybody thinks of a question later, I put down the email if
you can also
yeah,
ask later. Okay, perfect. So I would say if you can to put your microphone on and then to give an applause to team and the team of For Film that gave us this very useful free session of workshops. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was really great, and I learned as well a lot because I'm not a technical person, so I think everybody, someone that was already more technical and someone that was maybe less technical could follow these workshops. And yes, we stay in touch for the following step of the project. That again, it will be developed a video with the young people with disability or without disability or in a situation of risk of exclusion. Because at the end, our project is also especially for them. So it's important to involve them also during the development of the video. They don't have to be the subject of the video, it's not obligatory. Like the video, as long as they are coherent with the topic of sustainable development goals, it's okay. You don't have obligation to have someone in the object. Okay, everybody's saying that, yeah, you made it very clear. And yes, so there is also the email address of Dean here. So then you can ask to Dean, to me, or to Martina any question you have about the editing and about the following step of the project.
Okay, I would just thank you all for being here. Thank you, Dean. It was really a nice experience. And I would also ask you to open your cameras so that I can make the snapshot for Erasmus K2 administration.
And I just want to say, Ettore, that's a real nice shirt you have.
Okay.
I agree, the color is great.
Alena. Ne vidim. Okay. Have you turned on the cameras because I don't see it? Okay, whatever.
Yeah, most of us.
Okay. I have a Snapchat. Thank you a lot. That's, yeah, we have to have it.
I really thank you very much for all the participants, all of the youth workers that made the homework video as well. And yeah, I hope it was very useful for you, and we stay in touch.
Yeah, thanks you guys for listening, and I hope I wasn't too technical and boring. And yeah, as I've said, feel free to ask anything on the email later if you bump into some issues.
Thank you a lot. It was very interesting.
And please, Dean and Martina, can you stay just for